Hello everyone and welcome to Starsector with me, JD Colley. I wanted to start off the episode today by talking about a few comments people have been making on the previous videos. The first of which is that the Tritachyon Corporation does not care about transponders. So all of that running around trying to get into their planet without being caught thing was pointless because they don't care. You can just roll on in there with your transponder off and sell things if you'd like. They do still care about smuggling. Keep that in mind. Smuggling still matters to them, but they don't care if you're running with your transponder off. So they are useful that way. The second comment, I believe it was Jigglypuff who said this. If you go to your list of planets, there are core system planets that have ruins on them that you can salvage. For instance, here in this system, there is a planet called Vonin, and it has ruins, scattered ruins. I would show you in-game, but I actually went there already to test this out, and I was able to salvage a little bit. Also, I did record it, but I had my microphone muted and didn't realize it, so yay. But yeah, you can go to these planets, and you can salvage them without having to survey them, which means it's essentially free as long as you have the heavy equipment and crew necessary to do it. Additionally, in case you're worried, the salvaging skill does not apply to planets, to my knowledge, so don't worry about having salvaging maxed or anything like that. You can do this as soon as you start the game and have enough heavy equipment and crew to roll on in. In the case of this planet, I think it cost 30 heavy equipment, not cost, it required 30 heavy equipment. They're not consumed, neither are the crew. You just need to have that in your inventory to be able to salvage it properly. A couple other places I encountered planets that have this. You can see, by the way, the scattered ruins. They're always on the far left of this list of modifiers on a planet. There can be one to the left of them, but it's called decivilized. If we go here to Maxios in Magic, where's Magic? There we go. I think Maxios has that. Yes. So sometimes decivilized will pop up to the left of the scattered ruins or extensive ruins or whatever the ruins indicator, but there'll be a space between it and it's very distinct. So look for either this symbol here or some variant of it, because the level of ruins will change this icon subtly. The buildings will be bigger or smaller depending on the level of the ruins. But you'll either look for this or look for decivilized. Either one will indicate that there are ruins on the planet. Well, if you see decivilized, check and see if there's ruins, but I don't think decivilized ever occurs without ruins. I could be mistaken, but I don't think the game generates any planets like that. You can decivilize planets, and I don't think it'll necessarily have ruins as a result, but I do not know. I haven't decivilized any planets lately to check. We might do that later in the campaign, however. We'll see. There's one in There's one in Galatia. That Tetra planet has ruins. Where's some more? There's one here in Yama somewhere. There it is. Oh, there's two of them. Nice. So these both have decivilized and ruins. Decivilized and ruins. So you just look for that. I found it was easiest to just use this map. You can get here by opening your map with tab, going to the sector, and then just holding left mouse on a system and going to show system info, and you get this summary. Then you can just very quickly go through the planets. This was easiest for me. It may not be easiest for you. Oh, Sagan has one there too. So yeah, this is a great way to make a lot of cash early in the campaign. Thank you so much for this comment, Jigglypuff. I was actually unaware of this. I had no clue. So this is a great way to get a huge influx of cash early on. If you notice, I had about 400,000 credits. I got this by selling a synchrotron core or synchrotron core. It's just a modifier you can use on your colonies, a device you can install on your fuel fuel industry on your colonies if you do it, but those are not terribly uncommon. Like, I haven't had a hard time finding those, and I'm obviously in no position to make a colony yet. So I haven't even found any planets I think would be worth doing it on, so I just sold it. The only thing I wouldn't sell, if I found them, I probably would not turn in an alpha core, because alpha cores are pretty awesome. I probably would not sell a pristine nanoforge, just because I don't tend to find a lot of those, and they're really, really useful, and you may need more than one. And if you do find blueprints or blueprint packages, you can sell them, but be careful how you do it. I wouldn't recommend selling them most of the time because it's a great way to get ships for your fleets. But you can if you want. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I just personally don't do it because I like to have lots of selection in my fleets for my colonies later on, because if you get blueprints, you can then use those blueprints to build ships for yourself and for your colony defense fleets. However, if you don't want to do that, or if you just don't want the ships that you found the blueprints for, you can totally sell them. Just don't do it to the black market unless you know you want to, because any sale of blueprints to the black market will result in pirates using those blueprints to make their own ships. There are several reports on the Starsector subreddit of people who have given them or sold them sold a Paragon blueprint on the black market because it's worth a big chunk of change, and they didn't want to pay that nasty 30% tariff, so they sold it on the black market. And lo and behold, a few months later, pirate fleets started showing up with 4 Paragons in them instead of all of those stripped atlases you used to see. So be very, very cautious with what you sell to the pirates because they may turn it against you. Anyway, you might notice I have set my destination to Morganth. The reason is because I want to do some exploring this episode. As I said, I've got my my salvaging up to 3. I have in my fleet now, I got myself a Phaeton and a Colossus, and I've got myself fuel and supplies. I like to take about 10 times my daily supply use minimum, absolute minimum, when exploring, as well as over half my fuel capacity. The reason I don't take full fuel capacity all the time is because you tend to find a lot if you're doing a lot of like station salvaging and stuff. You want to be careful about that though. If you're not certain you're going to find anything, bring more. If we go back to the map, you can see I have far more than enough to go there and back and there and back and there and back again probably. So I don't need to bring more fuel than I have. I'm feeling pretty comfortable with the amount. And as I said, I have 10 months worth of supplies right now. Of course, that's not accounting for combat, but I do expect to find more as I salvage and travel. So that should work out pretty well. Additionally, I do have a quest. If we go to important, I have a quest for this planet here to survey it. If you look here, you can see it costs 15 supplies. Now, I'm not absolutely certain if that supplies requirement takes into account the surveying equipment mods I have in my fleet that are reducing the supply costs to survey planets. I'm not certain. I'll try and find that out, but at this very moment, I do not know. But do look at these if you're taking survey missions, because this will tell you about how many of each you're going to need, or, well, exactly how many, depending on whether or not it takes things into account. I just found that by going to the new, in this case, the new tab. You could also look for it under exploration. It would show up there as well. There's the analyze derelict ship one, but it's on the other side of the sector, and there's this rocky world one. There was another, yeah, there's some other ones, but they've been withdrawn. So that's all right. Oh, there's a pirate base there. That's good to know. Good thing to keep in mind. Oh, and the technology cache is right there. We might have to come back for that in the next episode if we have a large enough fleet. Anyway, let's see. Let's take a look at our fleet. So we have some new ships. We've got the Killican, the Damn Username. This one has not been named yet. It's a salvage rig. I just picked this up because it was super cheap, and I wanted the salvage gantry for increased salvage. Just so you know how salvage gantries work and salvaging in general. The hull mod that you can get on things like our little shepherds here, the salvage gantries and the salvage gantries on these things, and that you get on ships, only affects the fuel and supplies acquired from a salvage target. It does not apply to the rare items. So you're not going to get more guns, you're not going to get more blueprints, stuff like that. You don't need to worry about that with your salvage mods on your ships. The only thing that affects that I'm aware of is this skill right here. So I did want to get more fuel and stuff though, because fuel and supplies are what affect how long you can stay out, and so having one of these is nice. There's a guy on the forums who's running around with 18 of them apparently. That seems a bit excessive in my eyes, but you know, more power to you. I also picked up the Crouton, I believe, or renamed the Crouton anyway. Yeah, renamed the Crouton. We have ourselves the Scala here, which is the Phaeton, and the Heavy Metal, which is the Colossus. And if we look at the fit really quick, they're just running augmented drive fields and expanded cargo holds for the Colossus, and auxiliary fuel tanks and militarized subsystems. The reason for the militarized here, it's a +1 to burn speed, which the other bonuses are nice, but it's the burn speed I cared about. And then in this case, the augmented drive field did that here. I got the augmented drive field. I bought it from, I bought the what's it called, modular hull mod information thing that so I can put it on my ships. I bought that from Jangala. That's where I happened to find it. It's not necessarily going to be there for you, but just look around. You'll find it eventually. You do not have it. And is there anything else? Let's see. This is, if you want to see the fit for the damn username, it's just a graviton beam, 3 burst lasers, and some harpoons. This is more of a pursuit ship. It definitely has some burst power in between the harpoons and the burst lasers, but the graviton beam is 1,000 range, so it's going to do a lot of standoff fighting, which is important too because it's got structural damage. So it will not be as long range as normal, but it'll still be pretty long range. And then the kilocan is just fit with whatever I had on hand. It's not the best layout or loadout I could possibly come up with, but I didn't spend any money on it either. So I salvaged this from Galatia, and I got whatever I had, and it came with the railgun, and I just slapped some other stuff on it and rolled with it. So there you go. All right, I think that's everything I wanted to cover before we headed out, so I will meet you guys when we get to Morganth. All right, we have arrived at Morganth, and as we can see, there are definitely some planets here, so this is going to be an interesting place to at least look at. I'm not certain this is going to be valuable, but let's drop in here and find out. Sadly, one of our ships did take a little damage on the trip in, but that's okay. It was just the diaper. It'll be alright. None of these ships seem to have any ruins, which is what I'm here for. Let's do a scan really quick. Nothing nearby. So this system might be a bit of a bust for our salvaging efforts, but we'll see. A little early to give up hope yet. Ooh, there is something here. Okay, as you can see over there, on my radar, there was a little blip, which likely means a research station if it's that close to the sun. Oh, I'm already in the corona. That's not good. Okay, there it is, right there. It's either a weapons cache, or it's some kind of cache, or it's a research base. Scan again and see if we can get a look. Ooh, it's a domain era probe. I'm not certain that's something I want to dive for, but we'll do it for the video. What do I mean by dive? Diving is when you dive into the corona of a star. Stars are bad for your CR. They don't like it. If when you go into the corona of a star, it will both push against you. You'll have a difficult time driving your way in, and it will also burn some of your CR. Like it'll constantly keep your CR dropping. So you don't want to spend too much time there, so I'm going to turn on my emergency burn. We're just going to zip right in as fast as we can. Zoom. Explore. Oh, we've got some automated defenses. Well, this shouldn't be too bad. We'll just take in that, and we'll bring in the 2 wolves, see how they do. You notice all of my ships have reduced CRs because of the corona. And if you look on the bottom left, in my... what are they called? Status effects. We have corona, faster CR degradation, and reduced peak time. That is really bad for ships like me that are already on low CR, so we need to get this done in a hurry. In fact, we're going to put eliminate orders on these, because we just need to get in there and kill them right now. Okay, come on. Ah, to the engines, no. Still, we're already getting through his hull. He's gone. That guy's a point defense ship, so we shouldn't have too much trouble. Probably won't be able to use the torpedoes though, because if I fire one, if you'll see, he'll probably just shoot it down immediately. Oh, it'll get caught in the AoE, so that works. There we go. That didn't take too long at all, and we're able to salvage some stuff. All right, 6,000 experience. Those ships, by the way, are automated. They have no crew, and you cannot ever salvage them in the vanilla game. So don't even try. Well, actually, I shouldn't say don't even try, just don't worry about it. You will never get the opportunity to try. Ooh, from the probe's memory banks are partially accessible and contain information pointing to the location of a domain era survey ship. It was last seen by this probe located in an asteroid field in the Beta Kigameng star system. So this has been added to our memory banks. I will show you that in a minute, and we're going to salvage this ship. Oh, good. Fuel, supplies. There we go. Let's see. If we just stick around for just a moment. Nope, we're not. We're out of emergency burn. I would have salvaged that, but I forgot, and I moved away before I could salvage. Normally, I would immediately salvage as soon as I'd come out of the dialogue for salvaging, but I was a little slow on the gun that time, so that's okay. Alright, we're just going to zip by this little world real quick to make sure that it has nothing of interest. Okay. For now, at least, we are done with this star system. There could be other things here. Ooh, never mind, we're not done. What's here? Another domain era probe. Well, we'll salvage this one too. Ultra-rich rare ore deposits location. Cool. Ooh, and a gamma core. Nice. These are the least of all the AI cores you'll find, but they're still useful and they're still valuable. So see, if you look here on my hotbar, scavenge is already visible, even though there's no field to scavenge. The game considers the salvage field already here, we just can't see it. So we begin salvage operations. We'll probably do that twice. And maybe not. High risk? I think not. Do a quick scan just to see if there's anything on the asteroid belt near me. It's usually not worth your time to scan down the entire asteroid belts because they're usually too big to really make that worth your effort. Sometimes they have mining bases in them and stuff, but that's not all that common, and I'm not going to worry about it. Oh geez, I can't even get to the system point because of the coronal effect. Alright, we're gonna shoot in straight at it this time. Got it. Yeah, see that corona? It does a number on your CR. Alright, onward to the next system. I think that one's pretty close, yeah. Ooh, not much here though. A single planet around a red dwarf. I'm going to say that one's probably not worth it at the moment. We can come back to it at a later date, but it's not likely to have anything of interest. This workplace, on the other hand, definitely has enough. Like 2 planets around a yellow star is better than 1 planet around a red one. So we'll transversal jump in because that's free, and it'll drop us right on the planet. Do a quick scan. Nothing. And I don't think it has anything. No, we could perform the survey. So just for reference, supplies are worth about 100 credits each. So you'll get a survey report from each survey you do. And now if we look at my inventory, I've got this. It's worth about 1,000 units. So this is worth about 10 supplies at a base price. It only costs 5 to get. So essentially, it's always worth doing a 5 supply planet, just because you're not going to lose money on it. You can't, unless, well, you really can't. Unless you bought those supplies at an insanely high price, it just isn't, it isn't a problem. This, on the other hand, I'd have to get a class 3, which is worth like 10,000 credits to be worth it here, and that's not likely. This is probably a class 1 planet. So I'm going to leave it and head on my way because I don't think that is worth my time. I'll probably do one more scan here right by the jump point just to see if there's anything else in the system. I'm watching my radar here but saw nothing, so we will head on, getting closer to our destination. Because remember, our goal is eventually to reach that planet that the mission is asking us to survey. That's my main goal in this exploration. But any nice things I can find along the way, of course, are an added bonus. You can scan gas giants. It is almost never worth it. They're nearly always class 1, and that's just not good. And they're always at like 300% difficulty at colonization, or 225. And see, they cost insane amounts, 900 or 95 supplies. There is no survey worth that much, I don't think. Well, I guess, yeah, it is. 95, 100. Okay, there you can't. If it was a class 5 planet, it'd be worth it. It's class 3 or 4, but they never are. They're always class 1s. Another domain era probe. Man, we're getting a lot of those today. Nice. Engage the automated defenses again. This time they have a little bit more, but we're not dealing with a corona. So let's do this. I'm just going to bring in the normal ones this time. I might be over deploying a little bit, but it's fun. Okay, let's see who comes and visits. So these ships have pretty standard loadouts. You can tell what they are basically by looking at them. The little X-shaped ones are point defense ones. I believe these boxy warden ones. Let's see, what do they bring? Yeah, they have kinetic weapons. And then these other ones, sentries, are missile boats. So you shouldn't have too much trouble with them. Let's stop him from ganging up on my friend with his hypervelocity driver. Wouldn't want that. As you can see, they don't last very long generally. I don't believe they have shields most of the time. Oh, his guns got disabled by that. That was great. So there we go. Yeah, I definitely over deployed for this because I have shields, they don't, which basically means that this is a foregone conclusion. There we go, and the last one, we'll put that eliminate order on and add everybody to it. So this should just take a moment. He should get in there and tear this guy apart. Yeah, if you fired missiles at him in general, he'll be able to swat them. There's a bigger version of this ship that has far more point defense on it. Neither of them are really a threat, though. And there we go. Again, we pick up some more supplies. Oh, covered the deployment cost pretty much, or close to it. Not quite, but close enough. Some more fuel, which is nice. A plentiful volatiles location. We'll salvage that. We lost some heavy machinery, but that's okay. Alright, so it's been listing all these things we've been getting. If we press E and go to our intel, you'll be able to see these in the exploration tab. See, if we go to new, it shows that one because it was just added, but if you click exploration, it will show all the ones you know. Ah, never mind. There are some planets in the Morganth that are actually worth surveying. I'm not sure which ones. A gas giant on a planet in, or a plentiful volatiles location in Morganth. There, and a rocky unstable world with a orbiting a gas giant with ultra rich rare ore deposits. Nice. Not something I'm going to head there to look for. But, oh hey, this is Kitamang, Domain Era Survey Ship. That's neat, because that was a probe we looked at before. And what we'll be going to is a survey ship, which may have some more defenses and most likely have some more good stuff to pick up. Alright, what do these other planets look like? Ooh, something else. This is a combat freighter. That's not that great. We'll just salvage it real quick. Oh, those are just an asteroid field surrounding the planet. Nope, I meant to go to this one. Man, there's a lot of stuff hanging out here. An enforcer. with some more ultra-rich rare ore deposits location. Or just ultra-rich ore, not rare ore. Also really useful though. It's good to have both. Don't need to survey that. Alrighty, let's move this way. And while we're by the asteroid belt, we can drop a scan. An active sensor burst. This cryovolcanic world has nothing of interest on visual inspection. So I think it's time we head back out of the system. And these little circles you see here, these are just places you can build stuff like hypercom relays and stuff like that. The nav relays. And there's a third one. What's the third thing? Relay. I can't remember off the top of my head. I should be able to, but oh well. Alright, on to Beta Kigamang. That's quite a name. We'll just drop in right here. And there's a probe. Just so you know, these volcanic world, oh wow, there's a lot of planets in the system. These worlds are not useless. This one's obviously quite dangerous to colonize, but these planets almost always have some kind of heavy metal deposits, such as ore or ultra rare ore, rare ore, which you need for manufacturing on your world. So it's nice to have one of these around, but you shouldn't build on them as a primary colony. It should just be a tiny base with the absolute minimum you need to sustain the industry that exists there. Because in colonization, your costs of keeping those things around is based upon the... Actually, we're going to go there. Is based upon the difficulty level of the planet. It's multiplied by it, so your expenses will rapidly increase if you are building lots of stuff on planets like that. So don't do it. All right. Ooh. Haha. Excellent. This world has some stuff on it. Let's perform the survey. Oh, class 2 is not terrible. We got scattered ruins. Good. Oh, well, okay. That's not great. We didn't really get back what we spent on that, but hey, it's cool. I still do like finding ruins, because there's always a chance of something cool, even if you don't always see that materialize. Alright, neither of these worlds have ruins, so we're just going to skip them for now. There is something up there. Let's just dive into the corona just a little bit, right in the edge. Alright, and out we go. I don't know what that is. Let's go over closer to it, see if we can stay out of the corona while we do so. Domain era probe. I'm probably not going to dive for that one this time. I've already seen a few domain era probes. If it was a research station, absolutely. In fact, a research station is almost always worth it. Those things are incredibly valuable. Ooh. I think we have something in the asteroid belt. What is this? I bet it's a mining station. Nope, another probe. Man, these things are everywhere right now. In my previous game, I actually found almost none. I had a really difficult time finding domain era probes, but this time, man, they're just jumping out of the woodwork. We'll just zip over here. So I'm just kind of moving between points of interest. So I will reach this planet eventually. I'm going to go up here, 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 and then there. And just kind of scan the asteroid belt as I cross it. And the reason is because things tend to spawn near stuff. Ooh, survey ship. As you can see, it's a much larger graphic. This is going to be more interesting, I hope. Alright, your fleet approaches domain era survey ship left from the initial domain exploration of the sector. The ancient domain era automated survey ship has been ravaged by centuries of exposure to charged particles and high velocity impacts of interstellar dust. Some systems still appear to be nominally active. Those nominally active systems are probably going to try and kill me. Let's find out. They're not. That's unusual. Now, as you can see, there's a significantly larger amount of salvage here. It's not of higher quality in this case, but it's certainly larger amounts. Enough to push me over the cargo capacity, as a matter of fact. So we'll confirm and continue. And then we will salvage this as well. Significant risk. Oh well. Lost 5 machinery, gained 6, and we got 58 supplies. I will take that exchange. And then I'll salvage this one more time because it's still likely. Alright. Not as much stuff there, and I don't think salvaging that again would be valuable. So we'll just drop a scan, see if there's anything in the ring system there. It doesn't look like it. Alright, so we got a survey ship. That's excellent. Alrighty, if I don't find anything else, I'll probably just cut here, and then we'll come back on when we get to the planet we need to survey. Alright, so we've arrived at the conflagration system, which I believe is where we're supposed to be. Let's look at our exploration. Oh, no. Yes, 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 okay. Xi'an, a rocky ice world, and it is in conflagration. Alright. Labyrinth, Pear, Solus, there we go, Xi'an, as indicated by the nice little exclamation mark. We'll get there in a minute. Want to scan first? He has no satellites, so I won't worry about him. And we'll just move around the system. One thing I wanted to note as I was traveling along is that I mentioned before that a 5 supply planet is always worth it to survey. That's only true if you have the supplies to do so. If you won't make it home with supplies because you used your supplies surveying little planets like that, it's not worth it. I mean, it's financially a viable decision. You're not spending more money on the survey than you're going to get back from selling the survey data. It doesn't mean it's always a good idea. However, the actual reason I'm bringing you back right now is because that planet looks promising, and I will. It's not just because of the ruins, but because this is like a Terran world, which is what it is. Ooh, 150%. That's not too bad. I could deal with that. It is a little more expensive, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be worth it. Common organics, moderate ore, sparse rare, adequate farmland. Scattered ruins and a class 5 survey data. Excellent. This planet is worth remembering because this is a colonizable world. It has everything you need to have a valid colony. Well, almost everything. I'll show you what I mean in just a moment, but ooh, we got a plasma cannon. That's cool. I'd rather have the, plans for a plasma cannon, but I'll take a plasma cannon too. That'll work. Now, what it really needs to be truly viable is one of these other worlds in the system, preferably 2 of them, needs to also be a viable colonization location. Because the big thing about colonies is that their system defense fleets can overlap. I'm actually going to survey this one just to see what it was like. Okay, that's not terrible. Because if you have a system defense fleet from this planet, and let's say Xi'an here, those system defense fleets will all help each other. So if you have a hegemony patrol that decides to come visit you because it's mad at you for using AI cores or something, your entire system's worth of defense fleets will show up, not just the single planets, which means it is much easier to defend a system that has multiple colonized planets in it. For another example of this, go to Asconia and try and attack it. It's doable, but it's far more difficult than, say, attacking a planet like Ancyra there in Galatia or something. Because Asconia has 4 colonized worlds. All of these guys will throw, just 3 of them that are colonized by the Syndrian Diktat, but they'll throw their defense fleets from all of them at you. It's a much more viable means of defending a world. Anyway, 200%. Oh, that's not excellent. And if you notice there, it was 15 supplies, so it does appear as if the quest data, when they give it to you at the beginning, takes into your account your surveying equipment modifiers. So it is after your modifiers, not before. Excuse me just a moment. Sorry, I had to cough. All right. Looks like we have completed our quest. So next time, let's see. We're still pretty good on cargo space. I know I'm full technically, but 1,000 of that storage space is pointless. It's just there to make sure that it's not empty. Selling this, it'd be nice, but I'd rather fill it up with things like plasma cannons. And I have plenty of supplies, which you notice I have more supplies now than I left with. And that's after surveying several larger planets. So if you're doing a good job of bringing some salvage ships, having your salvage skill up a little bit, you're not going to have any difficulty finding the materials you need to maintain yourself while you're exploring, as long as you haven't overfilled your fleet with really large ships. But yes, I think this next time we will probably focus on this next area, probably. Since we're already out here, we might as well. These distant parts of the sector are hard to get to and expensive. They cost a lot of fuel. So if we're already here, we might as well just go explore them too. Anyway, thank you guys all so much for watching, and thank you for all of the names I got. I got a ton of names to add to the ship list. Keep them coming. It's great. I love having them. I have a bunch of carrier names. I just don't have a carrier yet. I'm sorry for that. I will get one as soon as I can because I love carriers. I'm not certain there's going to be a guide video this week, and I apologize for that, but my son, who I've mentioned I have a new baby, he's been in the hospital this entire time because he was premature. He may be coming home this week, maybe even tomorrow. So there's a very decent chance I will not have time to make a video. If that's the case, I apologize in advance, and we'll be back on schedule for next week. There probably will be a Let's Play video this Friday, and we'll see how it goes from there. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Keep your comments coming. If you want to see more, subscribe. I'm going to keep making these, even though, like I said, no video Wednesday. But I will see you all next time.